introduce our honorable panel members, and please help me welcome each and every panel member with the biggest round of applause. Joining us first in the panel is Ms. Shweta Khandelwal, Senior Advisor Nutrition from Jhpiego. A big round of applause to Shweta. Shweta ji, welcome to the panel. Please have a seat. Always a pleasure having you. Joining next on the panel, we have Dr. Nandan Arun Joshi, Head Medical Affairs, Nutrition, India and EM, Dr. Reddy's Laboratories. A big round of applause to Dr. Joshi. Dr. Joshi, welcome to the panel. Joining next, we have Dr. Manickavasagam, Vice President, Ennutrica. A big round of applause to Dr. Manickavasagam. Welcome to the panel, Dr. Vasagam. Please have a seat. Joining next in the panel, we have Ms. Aparna Tandon, Lead Nutrition NPD from Signutra. A big round of applause to Aparna ji. Welcome to the panel, Aparna ji. Joining next, ladies and gentlemen, in this panel, we have Mr. Anil Bhutani, Business Head, Ananda Dairy. A big round of applause to Anil ji. Anil ji, welcome to the panel. Please have a seat. Joining next in the panel, we have Mr. Pradip Chakraborty, Senior Advisor, Center for Public Health and Food Safety. A big round of applause to Pradip ji. Pradip ji, welcome to the panel. Joining next in the panel, we have Ms. Swati Bhardwaj, Senior Technical Advisor, Nutrition from Resolve to Save Lives. A big round of applause to Swati. Swati, welcome to the panel again. Please have a seat. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to call on stage the honorable moderator for the panel, Mr. Vikram Kelkar, Managing Director from Hexagon Nutrition. A big round of applause to Vikram. Vikram, welcome to the panel. Please have a seat. And as we can see, ladies and gentlemen, it's a fantastic panel with 8 experts on such an amazing subject. So I leave it up in the good hands of Vikram, and I'm sure it's going to be a cracking session. All the best, panel members, and looking forward to a great show.
Good afternoon to everyone present here, a wonderful audience, as I can see. So to set the context, I think let me focus on 2 main points. One is the panelists themselves. So with a diverse range, what we have today on the panel, spanning the industry, regulatory authorities, public health, and academia, I think we have an extremely diverse and vibrant panel today. And they will be covering a plethora of topics as they speak on topics like nutraceuticals, policy making, regulations, labeling, weight management, healthy aging, and exercise. So I think a very interesting panel this afternoon. And without further ado, I would request Pradip to make a beginning.
I think our previous speaker already elaborated nutraceutical regulations in detail. So, and he has cleared almost all the sections of the Nutra Regulations 2022, though it is in the draft stage, not yet notified. So, most of the industry members actually, even the legal professionals, they say that it is not a legal document. So, if they go to the court, actually, the judiciary may scrap it also. But even then, this is the only regulation now in practice, because the previous regulation 2016 has been null and void now. Because in the very first page of this Nutra Regulation 2022, it has been clearly stated that all other previous regulations are now null and void, and only this Nutra Regulation 2022 is effective from 2022 is effective from 1st of April 2022. So we have to comply with these regulations only if you want to do business in India, both domestic as well as imported. Imported food products comes under the purview of FSSAI. For export, actually, you have to obtain approval from this Export Inspection Council of India. But for manufacturing of export-oriented products also, you have to obtain license from the FSSAI. So this is the whole system in India, actually, if you want to do business. Now, nutraceutical industry actually has come a long way. We all know that earlier actually I was the director of product approval in 2012 when we started this product approval, and we found that a lot of products actually are in the market which are not specified in our regulations. So we call it this novel food and novel ingredients, and for which actually we used to issue no objection certificate. So, but then actually some organization, Indian Dairy Manufacturers Association and some other companies actually, they moved to the court, both Bombay High Court as well as Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court actually said that you have to, regulators should regulate through regulations only. They cannot issue advisory, and on the basis of advisory, industry also cannot work, and this regulator also should not work. They should issue, they should make regulations. On the basis of this observation of the Supreme Court, FSSI formulated this, drafted this regulation 2016, which is effective from 26th of December 2016. And from then onwards, actually, we have these regulations. Earlier, actually, we had 8 categories of products. Now, while working on this regulation, actually, we have found a lot of problems. And then, actually, to overcome these problems, actually, this 2022 regulations have been made. Now, we have only 4 schedules. And 5 types of, 5 categories of food products has been covered under this new regulations. And now, actually, because of this COVID-19, a lot of new products actually entered in the market. And earlier, actually, we used to deal with health supplements comprising of multivitamin, multiminerals, and antioxidants. Now, actually, there are a lot of products which were not there earlier in the covered also in the regulation as well as not in the market also. But COVID-19 actually has changed the world altogether, not only India. And we have found a lot of new products which are in the market to combat this. And the first and foremost thing was the this immunity booster. We found a lot of immunity boosting products actually during COVID-19 to combat this thing. So nutraceuticals are now considered as modern medicines with proven health benefits. And COVID-19 is now over, but after COVID-19 also, we have seen a lot of products in the market because a lot of innovation took place during this COVID-19 period, even afterwards also. And these innovative products also entered the market. And these are actually, now we are not only concerned with the immunity boosting, but also other health benefits actually. So these products are coming into the market, and it will continue. It will continue. This nutraceutical industry will grow. As all of us know that prevention is better than cure. So we concentrate on preventing, not actually preventing, because health supplements cannot prevent or cure or treat any disease, but it can be used for general well-being of the health, general well-being and health of the population. And we know that 70% population in our country are protein deficient. So a lot of protein products are also in the market. Earlier, actually, these are mainly imported from US basically. And these imported products were very costly. Now, under this Atmanirbhar Bharat mission project, actually, a lot of products are being manufactured in India itself. And there are so many good manufacturing units in India who are manufacturing these products. And on the basis of this, actually, our industry is also growing. And because global market, our share of... Okay, I'll conclude. And we have so many function-specific antioxidants and nutraceutical products in the market. And I think other speakers also will speak on this. Yeah. So I am concluding my opening remarks with this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pradip. I would now request Shweta to please share her inputs, and also request to all the panelists to restrict their initial preliminary discussion to 3 minutes so that we can have time for the question and answers as well. Thank you.
I'll take 1.5 minutes, don't worry. So my name is Shweta, as they told, and I have a master's, Ph.D, postdoc, everything in nutrition. So my background is nutrition epidemiology, nutrition research, and nutrition policy largely. So maybe whatever we are talking about in terms of clinical nutrition, I'm just outside that clinic. So everything outside that clinic is public health nutrition. So that's where I come from in terms of introduction. And I think for me to summarize that in 1 minute, like I said, 5 P's is what I'm going to talk about in the next subsequent sections. One is the purpose. Why are we here? Why are we talking about nutrition? Product. For you, it may mean like those capsules, those gels. For me, it means a thali, for example, as a public health nutritionist. So product. The third is P as platform. Where and what are we talking about? What is the food environment that we are staying in today? Is it just your market, supermarkets? He said gym. Somebody said, so many things. So what is that realm of reaching out to people? For me, it may mean communities, villages, rural areas, whatever. So what's that platform? The fourth P is price. What money do you pay for that? So for that health and public health nutrition, the price for you was 4,000 crores company or whatever. For me, it will be lives, it will be health, it will be nutritional status. And fifth is the policy P. So P for you means government maybe as a challenging body to tackle with. For me, it's a facilitator and enabler, and even for you as well, for making sure that public health nutrition retains. So I'll stop there. 1 minute.
Excellent, Shweta. Thank you very much. Very well said. Requesting Nandan to please share his inputs.
Sure. So I think broadly we can divide nutrition into 2 types. One is nutrition for supportive, as a part of supportive care. What means is if you have a deficiency, you are giving a protein or a fiber or a micronutrient to fulfill that deficiency. I think that is largely accepted by consumers as well as by the healthcare professionals. But the second piece is nutrition as therapeutics. So right now my work is focusing on nutrition as therapeutics. Now, I'll give you one example how we are doing this is there is a specific formulation developed for diabetic patient with a high protein, high fiber, less carbohydrate, less calorie. Now, right now it is looked at as a supportive care, but it's actually a therapeutic product. Now, how it is a therapeutic product? When you use this kind of a supplement as a partial meal replacement for a diabetic patient, twice a day. So you replace a part of the breakfast, you replace a part of an evening snack, which is likely to be a high carbohydrate, high fat, samosa, vadas, etc., or sandwich. What you are doing is you are reducing the carbohydrate and fat content of that diet, and you are increasing the protein and fiber. By doing that, you are providing this satiety, which will also have a second meal effect, means the next meal portion size will also reduce, and this will help in 24-hour glycemic response control. Now this is sound very theoretical, but we have also done 2 clinical studies in Indian patient, which is my next part of, as a part of industry, we have to focus on generating evidence in India among Indian patients is extremely critical. So we have done this study where again you have to understand how we are different from medication, because medication is also trying to reduce your blood sugar level. Then what is it that the nutrition intervention is going to do? So we actually compared it against the people. Both the groups were on same medications or similar kind of medications. But the group which did not get a dietary intervention, we saw that actually over a period of time, their 24-hour blood sugar glucose levels were quite fluctuating compared to the group that got intervention. So there is a definite role in nutrition intervention can play as a therapeutics along with medication. Mind it, it's not there to replace a medication, along with medication. And this is just one application I'm talking about, which is diabetes. But currently there are many areas where we are working in this specific segment, and that is why we are calling it out a term which is actually quite widely used, is medical nutrition therapy. So next time when you talk about a nutrition intervention, don't call it a protein supplement or a fiber supplement. It's a medical nutrition therapy. So that's what, yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Nandan. Requesting Aparna to please share her inputs.
Thank you. Very good afternoon, everyone. And thank you, all the panel members and Sinex for inviting me. By background, as I'm a dietitian, so I'll touch upon the topic which is assigned to us is more on nutrition role in fitness and weight management. So how nutrition, as everyone touched upon, that nutrition is very important. And how can we make a person fit, and at the same time, how can we control the weight? So there is a concept called as balanced diet. So if somebody is taking proper, adequate amount of all the nutrients coming from all different food groups in their daily diet, in all 3 meals of their day, then they are having a balanced diet. And they are at the same time maintaining the energy intake and the energy output. That means whatever you are consuming energy, you are also utilizing that in your daily diet. And in that way, you are maintaining your weight. Now, as we saw in the previous presentation by Mr. Arun also, that there's a term called as lifestyle diseases. And in the lifestyle diseases, obesity comes at the #1 position. And in India also, now we are suffering with the double burden of malnutrition, both under and over. And overnutrition is increasing day by day among children, among adults. And why is it happening now more? Because of more intake of energy and lesser amount of physical activity. We are not burning whatever we are consuming. And we are consuming more of calories in our daily diet. Maybe the availability of convenience food, more of junk food options available both for the children and adults. So energy intake is more, and at the same time we are not burning that out. So that is why we are now becoming a more on the overweight and obesity part. How to control it? We can control it by either increasing our physical activity, or we can do it by reducing the energy intake and increasing your output, so that you can get an energy deficit and you can lose the weight. And then we can see how to maintain it. And yes, of course, nutrition company, because I'm from a nutraceutical company, so there are solutions available now with the nutraceutical industry as well. You can even approach a nutritionist or a dietitian for a complete, balanced kind of a diet plan. How to control your extra calories, what to take and what time you should take, so that everyone can have a balanced kind of a diet, and they can also maintain their weight. So in the role of nutrition, I would say everything matters, both the macro and the micronutrients. In the macronutrients, you have carbohydrate, protein, fats, and that has to be consumed in a proper percentage. And at the same time, your micronutrients are also very important, your vitamins and minerals, because these are also very important. If you are deficient in micronutrient, which is nowadays a great problem, you are not gonna get your energy from your macronutrients. So your macronutrients are a waste because you are deficient in micronutrients. So both are very, very important when it comes to your nutrition, both macro as well as micronutrients. So I just want to summarize over here on the nutrition part, and we'll take up the questions in the next round. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Aparna. Now I would request Anil to please share his perspective.
No. Lot of thoughts are going and a lot of repetition is happening, because I am from industry. I think from industry point of view as well as from health point of view. So, because my background used to be like that, we used to make a product where people used to say maida hai, then we change the product to taste bhi or health bhi. So we have to combine, it's an Indian culture, you have to bring a taste also to the nutrition. Because as on today, the mindset of a customer is, it is when you are in a hospital. Or nowadays, it is for something, you need something extra. It is still not a regular part of a diet. In case we want to grow the business, then from industry point of view, we have to think something like this. We should have a ready-to-eat nutritional breakfast, ready-to-eat nutritional lunch, ready-to eat dinner, and even a breakfast nutritional for children also going to the school. And the people who are traveling regular on a railway or a flight or a regular traveler, they should carry, such a packs, nutritional packs. They don't need to eat outside unhygienic food. Use that, your nutritional needs are over. In case industry works on that thinking and that direction, the things I feel can definitely go further and expand further. Second thing on this particular industry going on a front end side. Now on a front end side, we already have a chemist, because I was a part of manufacturing of a baby foods also, of a MNC. So we were only limited to chemists or doctors. Now even on nutrition also, we are more or less on the same track. Now we have to change the track. We have to come on the normal network way. Like currently I am in a food industry, or call it a dairy industry. There is a huge network we have, huge distribution network we have, huge retailer network we have, huge backward farmer network we have. But industry has to join the hands with industry, who gels with that industry, and the product can move all together. And it's a new thing which is coming on a cost optimization, which is also a part of industry, because you have to keep the cost down also. Now joining the hands through third parties, making our quality control system robots, these things are also helping us to improve on the cost optimization also. But on the other side of a coin, I'll definitely say, prevention is better than cure. Better, we used to travel in roadways, buses, and I remember that line, "Sawari apne saman ki zimmedar khud hai." So your health is in your hands only. Stress is always there. पहले भी था, अब भी था. Small towns में आप जाएंगे, इतने issues health के नहीं मिलेंगे, इतने nutrition के नहीं मिलेंगे. But cities में ये ज़्यादा hype create हो गया इस time. It's a new business also. So still I say, from my personal opinion, better pay 1 hour to your health. I think you don't need to visit a doctor, you don't need so many medicines. That is why, diabetics, high pressure, and these kind of things are adding, and because we are consuming high, carbohydrate diets and no exercise, because now the playground has been vanished with the builders. All towers are there, no playgrounds are there. Before 10 years, I remember we used to have cricket ground, hockey ground, football ground. So sunlight was also there and physical activity was there. Now only laptop screen is there. So that lifestyle change has come, and you will see next 10 years, the generation which is coming as a McDonald generation, that you will have a more health issues in the coming future. So all the best to all of us.
Great. Thank you, Anil, for the valuable insights. Now I'd request Swati to speak next.
Thank you. And thanks to the organizers once again for yet another interesting panel on another important topic. So the panel talks about lifestyle changes and nutraceuticals. I would take your attention towards another critical factor within it. It is the factors which impact our health behavior, the factors which influence our dietary choices. And the 3 A's are crucial for us to understand. 1, availability. Availability to consumers for healthier foods. Availability for the industry for healthier raw materials. Affordability. Everything at the end of the day boils down to how affordable a particular product is. A healthier food, is it within our pocket size? Is it doable? Is it doable only for the elite group or at a population level? So that is a question we need to keep asking us again and again and again in order to make an impact. And third is awareness. And awareness is not just for consumer, but also to the manufacturers, and allowing an enabling environment for the manufacturers to provide the healthier food options to the population at large. So as we go forward, these are the crucial things which we will all be talking about.
Thank you, Swati, for that crisp introduction. Now I would request Manickavasagam to please share his views.
Good afternoon to all. And Mr. Arun's presentation has given a wide range of nutraceuticals, and thanks. He has made us be easy. So in his presentation, he has talks about one particular thing on protein. What is a common among all who have been across the age? We have been sitting right from 25 to 65 or 70 also. The common mechanism, the physiological mechanism is muscle protein synthesis. This is where the common for the nutraceuticals also. When we talk about the nutraceuticals, we are just getting into the point of protein is first thing which is coming into our mind as a nutraceutical products. There are various products has been developed, but still we have been always talk about these proteins. This muscle protein synthesis is having two different kinds. There's mass protein synthesis and the net protein synthesis. This is a equilibrium between the segregation of proteins or the development of proteins and it is getting the breakdown of proteins inside our physiologicals. Based on this only, there's nutraceuticals inside what we have been thinking how it has to be developed. All the mechanism is comes under. This is where we all become common and the diets which we have been always taking care, we have to go with the protein. If you take in the infant, we start with a lesser protein. When we go year to year, then the protein consumption has to be increased because this breakdown will be increasing. And there was a question has been raised to Arun about reverse aging. It is nothing but to make the equilibrium of breakdown of this synthesis to better, that A to B has to be in equilibrium, thereby the aging cannot be reversed, but our muscle strength, the strength of those muscles is very important and that is going to helpful to move forward on other things. This is what the point which I want to deliver on my open face, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Manickavasagam. And to continue further on the same discussion, related to exercise, which I believe is of interest to all the people here. So people generally think that routine exercises and walks are sufficient to maintain the balance. So what is your thought on that, Manik?
It is absolutely not. Exercise alone will not lead anything which we expect. It is a balance between the diet. It is balance between diet as well as the stress, because in the modern world, the stress is a very important factor. Exercise to make our body to build up. I will say one thing, one example, best example. We know that a lot of sports are running. If you go to the sports like archery or if you go to chess or carom, where the more concentration is required, the serotonin level is to be maintained properly. That is where, because there's the neuron messenger is very important for these games. So if I am going to do on the exercise, it is not going to helpful in these things. So the nutraceutical point of this has to be taken care, the serotonin has to be maintained properly. So the balance between the stress relief, the diet, and the exercise, maybe you can take 40-30-30. That will give you a better, to keep away from medical treatments and other things. That's what my point, which I want to make it out. Like athletes, if the athletes, when they have been working out, they require iron. Iron is very important for the athletes, who are the runners and sprinters. I'm talking about the sprinters. So usually they will try to avoid a lot of foods because they want to maintain the body and the light weight, as rightly she has told about the weight management. But what will happen, the deficiency of iron will come into the places. Once the deficiency of ions comes into the places, then they cannot train in a proper way, they cannot deliver in a proper way, and they cannot accept, the body will not accept it out. So these are the minor things. It is a combination. That's what I am trying to say.
Understood. Thank you so much, Manik. So my next question is for Anil. I heard briefly during your discussion about the word cost compatibility. So how do we maintain the balance between cost compatibility and optimum nutrition for the consumers?
Nutrition no doubt is required, but ultimately the buyer also looks for a cost, and it's an Indian thought process. Even abroad also, I have seen they look for a cost. If you look for the maximum people who should buy your product, you have to, the cost should be acceptable to the customer. The things will move fast, no doubt in that. Now, how to optimize the cost? Currently, no doubt, volumes play a very important role in cost optimization. But when a new business starts, the customer's awareness is not that much about that brand. So initially, we feel the small brands which are coming up, they join hands in such a way. Now the innovations is coming in industry and the experts are available in the industry. And they collaborate each other in manufacturing, so they can save their cost at least in manufacturing, and they can optimize their cost in market front. Even in the market front also now, I have seen in distribution network and the retailer network, people are joining hands. So they save a cost on sales force. Because, that becomes an optimization of manpower also then. So those things which we never thought of it has started coming now. And a lot of things, once you are established, then people are going for a franchise model also now. You see, Starbucks coffee house has been taken by Tata. All the Starbucks products are being sold by Tata. You see KFC, McDonald's, these are live examples in our life. These are all imported brands. They have already implemented such things that they are only giving a franchise cost to their business and people are selling it. Now to nutraceutical, which is a growing business, no doubt in that, and I also feel it will grow. But initially to grow, it has to join hands with such an industry who can support that as an elder brother. So once you start walking in the market, then definitely you can think on investment on other fronts also. Otherwise, the people who start, at least 100 out of 90 people could not move further because of, the negative variance in the business. And now banks are such shrewd, to the businessman, through the small businessman, once you take a loan, they are behind you. Yeah, if you take 1,000 crores, nobody is behind you. So those are the things. That is a platform where we are sitting it. And we have a diverse kind of industry people here. How can we make a solution out of it? That need to be worked out. Like Hexagonal Foods, I was watching their products. I have not tasted their products because I have been to a food industry and a nutrition industry for such a long. But we like to see, I want to have a different perspective, out of the box perspective, what they think and what I think. How business can be done. How more volumes can be sold. How the contribution margin can be increased. Because, where we work, our principle is simple. Gentlemen, if you are 10 plus contribution margin, continue. If you don't have more than 10%, don't start. That's a basic thought process on commercial end. So that's my thought process. Yeah. But there are experts in the industry, who have different ways to start. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anil. Good guidance to the industry at large. My next question is for Shweta. So being from the public health area, I would like you to focus on the maternal child nutrition from a policy perspective.
Thank you. I think it's very important to first think about why are we talking about mothers and children. And from a research standpoint, as well as from the government's, background, it's important to see that the 1,000-day that we talk about, right from the conception time till the child turns 2 years, that's also called 1,000-day. If you've heard, many of you may have heard this phase. The 1,000-day period is essentially very crucial because at that time, the maximum brain development is happening. Whatever we are talking about today, please understand that a lot of it, today's diseases are also linked to what your mother ate. So we keep saying that you are what you eat, and in research we say you are what your mother ate, because it's important to realize the role of maternal nutrition into child and the subsequent generations. You'll be amazed to know that there are 3 generations which get impacted with one woman's nutrition. So it's that much carry forward, in terms of it. So that's very important to think about when you're thinking about the perspective. UNICEF actually released a report called Undernourished and Overlooked. It was on Women's Day for women nutrition. saying that they are undernourished and overlooked. So, and imagine this chunk of population, which is women that I'm talking about, including pregnant, including adolescents, is the largest population which has public health nutrition problems. Whether we take NFHS data, the National Family Health Survey data, or you take CNNS data, Comprehensive National Nutrition Survey data, which has adolescents also in it, you will see across the board that 10 to 19-year-olds also, which are children to us, right? Our school children, like those who are going to school and all, they are also grappling with lots of NCDs and lots of other risk factors. So for example, 10% of them are already pre-diabetic. 10% of them are already having hypertension. 10% of them already have chronic kidney disease problems. And this is school children where we don't even think, टिफिन में मैगी दे रहे हो, कोई बात नहीं, दे ही देते हैं हम लोग तो सब. कोई भी और भी कुछ दे रहे हैं तो दे, मतलब एक मैगी को सिंगल आउट नहीं कर रही हूँ बिकॉज यहाँ इंडस्ट्री में भूल गई. लेकिन पॉइंट ये है कि हम पब्लिक हेल्थ में बात करते हैं ना, यूजुअली माय ऑडियंस इज people who will understand. By that I mean industry products अगर हम दे रहे हैं, which are HFSS foods, not the ones which you are talking about. लेकिन जो high fat, salt and sugar वाले foods हैं, हम बहुत coolly और casually order कर देते हैं. Swiggy, Zomato, screen time, whatever we are talking about. But we are not realizing that we are actually spoiling the entire generations like this. So I think my purpose here, my main reason of saying yes on this panel with you guys was to tell you, even if इसमें से 4 लोग अपने बच्चों का please अगर सुधार करो टिफिन का, अपने खुद के में एक fruit रखो along with your nutraceuticals or whatever you want to promote. But please remember, the final product should come from your thali which you're eating. I would never imagine a world where my thali has capsules and pills and solutions. No, I would not endorse it. You do not call me next time, no problem. But please remember, it has to be food-based approach. These things are supplements. Today, we are talking about millets, for example. And we are saying International Year of Millets. सारे लोग कूद गए हैं millets के ही product बना रहे हैं, which is great. But remember, millet again is one solution. Everything cannot be millets. And millet is again a grain of which only 50% of calories should come from. बाकी 50% क्यों नहीं हम focus करते हैं? So let's talk about holistic nutrition. Even if आप लोग जब बात करें, you also have families at home. It's not that you're surviving only on money. It's also some amount of health that you're concerned about. So for me, even if that much of difference I can make in this session, that is my contribution. So maternal child health is very important. Adolescent girls these days are grappling with this whole concept of weight loss which you were talking about. It's real. It's not something that they are making up these figures. Whatever you're showing is actually true. They are concerned about weight loss at that point, so much so because of hormones, because of the peer pressure, because of internet, because of these screens, that they are indulging into behaviors which are causing problems later on. So you are getting a population which is going to bear future children in a malnourished condition. So that's not right. And you set the story. कितने लोगों को अपना birth weight पता है? आप कितना किलो के पैदा हुए थे, कुछ पता है? Maybe 1-2 people are raising hands. You don't even know your birth weight. And imagine there is such a strong coincidence of your getting hypertension or diabetes or whatever based on your birth weight. So आप क्या थे, कौन लोग जो ज़्यादा pre-term थे, मतलब छोटा 2500 ग्राम से कम पैदा हुए थे, उनको ये chances 10 to 12% ज़्यादा होते हैं. मतलब there are so many statistics and data to show that. So please remember that along with all these things, also remember the public health side.
No, absolutely. Thank you, Shweta. Really appreciate. And the whole objective of having this diverse panel was to give a holistic perspective. And we all believe in holistic nutrition for sure. The industry is not an enemy of the people. No, not at all. I understand. So, but talking about the HFSS foods, I would like to pose this question to Swati because, talking about the nutritional issues and promoting solutions for the healthy aging, there is a lot of noise around the HFSS, which is the high fat, sugar and salt. So what are the challenges associated with diets that are high in fat, sugar and salt in terms of the weight management? And also some solution to these challenges.
Thank you, and I completely agree what you said, Shweta. And industry is definitely, I think and I believe very strongly, is eager to work on solutions and be part of the solution-making process. So having said that, the question posed to me, which is HFSS. HFSS is a terminology which we use to understand foods that are high in fat, sugar, and salt. Now, fat, we do require fat. Salt, we do require salt. But these are the foods which have salt, fat, sugar over and above what we require. These are very, very high in fat, sugar, and salt. And consuming these products, which are mostly processed or ultra-processed foods, consuming this throughout the day or multiple times in a day can definitely lead to imbalances in our dietary intake. सुबह में एक पैकेट चिप्स का खाया, दोपहर में एक पैकेट बिस्किट का खाया, शाम में एक tetra pack of juice we had, and we are saying, okay, we just had one biscuit or one small packet of chips. But if you see the cumulative effect it will have, adding fat, and sugar, added sugar, it won't take us anywhere. Why? Because these foods are high in calories, they are calorie dense, but they have low density of other nutrients. With other nutrients, I mean the minerals and the vitamins which we want from our balanced thali, or balanced plate. So that is missing. Also, with addition of additives and preservatives that goes into these products, also plays havoc with our system. So we know that India is the diabetes capital. It's a sorry state. We are also getting on to exceedingly high figures of hypertension. So much so that the global health agencies are ready to work in India, for India, to support controlling the hypertension. But at the end of the day, stress is one factor, but food is a factor that can be modified and can be managed through better enabling choices. Controlling our portion sizes, limiting the consumption of these ultra-processed foods, having healthier foods in the diet, and in the diet is an overarching statement, but diet at the end of the day percolates down to your breakfast, your snack, your lunch, evening tea, and bedtime, and also the dinner. So having healthier choices in these these meal times is what we need to look up at. Controlling the portion sizes again. If the lifestyle is largely sedentary, then we do not need that much amount of energy or that much amount of fat in our diets. We need to cut it down. We need to include the healthier options like fruits, like salads in our diet. Again, that comes to the cost and the accessibility and the availability. Because at the roadside dhaba, you will see package of chips over there, but you might not find a healthy food option, a fruit. And even if it is there, how many people will be able to afford it? The challenges are many, but also we have workable, doable solutions of educating the masses, providing some level of nutritional literacy. By nutritional literacy, I mean having the knowledge of understanding what nutrition is trying to say through food. So these are the things which I would like to highlight.
Thank you very much, Swati. So my next question is to Nandan, talking about the relationship of health behavior and innovation. So what is the health behavior of consumers? How is the health behavior of consumers impacting the innovation?
Yeah, I think I would take the example of pediatric nutrition, because that is the most affected area by changing perception of consumers or aspiration of consumers as well. See, 30 years back, we used to have 2 to 3 children per household, and India was also not shining, or Amrut Kal वगैरह नहीं था, right? That was the time. And people's basic expectation were, my child should get enough protein, enough micronutrient. So all the pediatric nutrition supplements had a very basic combination of carb, protein, and all the micronutrient. Then the aspiration slowly changed. My child should also be taller and stronger, right? So then you started adding more ingredients and started communicating that, and that became a pressure on everybody in the industry to do that. Then came immunity. My child should not fall sick. So nucleotides, phospholipids, all these ingredients started coming into the picture. And if you see the latest innovation, my child also should be super smart. So DHA aa gaya, omega-3 fatty acid, all these ingredients started. So this is how the innovation has been going on. And I think it's okay if you do it in a right way, and if you do it very properly, appropriately. I think I would expect that from an industry to do this in a very scientific manner. Otherwise, you add little bit of DHA to make a claim, and then you say, कि एक चुटकी DHA की कीमत तुम क्या जानो? Should not be that kind of attitude. So I think it's also, changing consumer perception is affecting innovation, but it should be done very scientifically and very mindfully and very ethically. I think that's, I would like to say, yeah.
Great. No, thank you, Nandan. Connecting on the similar topic, my next question is for Aparna. So what are the novel ingredients used in the formulations that help in the weight loss and its management?
So as I'm from the industry side, so I'll be taking up first the novel ingredients, the unique ingredients which we add, although a lot of things we can get from the diet also, but I'll just touch upon the ingredients which are nowadays very popular. So one is probiotics, which is very popular nowadays. We talk about connecting the gut health with all kind of anti-inflammatory properties, and how these probiotics, the lactobacillus and the bifidobacterium species, can help in suppressing the appetite, stimulating hormones, and that's how you are getting the weight loss. So probiotics is one which is catching attention with the Nutra industry. The other one is the soluble fibers. Soluble fibers in that category, a lot of, from the formulation perspective, you can get glucomannan, you can get polydextrose. All these soluble fibers, they have clinical data that shows that this can help in first giving you satiety, and thus it helps in weight loss. The moment you are consuming these soluble fibers, it will have an impact on your next meal. The calories of your next meals are gonna be reduced, so it will have an impact on your total day's calorie intake. So probiotics, your soluble fibers which are popular. The other herbal ingredients which are nowadays used in number of ways, like your green tea extract. Green tea, as we all know, it has the catechins which have the property of increasing the BMR, which helps in the weight loss through your actually fat loss. They are burning your body fat, and that's how you're getting the weight loss. So green tea extract, white kidney bean extract, which has an effect on your alpha amylase, which suppresses the absorption of carbohydrate, and that's how it helps in getting you the weight loss. So these are few, and caffeine, caffeine is very popular. People consume a lot of black coffee. The caffeine helps in, again, burning your fat. So these are few of the novel ingredients which are very popular for the weight loss and the weight management category.
Thank you, Aparna, for those insights on the novel ingredients. And now, my final question of this panel is for Pradip. So, Pradip, what are the government policies and reforms to boost the nutraceutical industry?
Nutraceutical industry has been categorized as a priority sector for Government of India. And 100%, we all know that already 100% FDI has been allowed in this for this industry, and the way it is growing, actually, we expect that by 2030, in fact, this is also the Niti Aayog report also, that by 2030 we will have this market $100 billion in India. Even global share of Indian nutraceutical products also is increasing. In 2017, it was only, I think, $2 billion, 2% of the global share. Now in 2023, it has been increased to 3.5% global share. So it is increasing continuously. But government policy, actually government has already introduced this Atmanirbhar Bharat program. And under this program, actually, if you manufacture these products which were earlier manufactured in overseas and imported to this country, so you can now manufacture these formulations. Of course, it will comply with this FSSAI regulations. In India, actually, you will get a lot of subsidies. Even I can say spirulina. Spirulina, a few years back also, it was not a very important thing. Now it is, as you know, spirulina contains 70% protein. And spirulina manufacturing and processing is, and product formulation is also a very important thing. And first spirulina product was manufactured by Paris Nutraceuticals, Chennai, and it was approved by me. And now actually you will find a lot of spirulina products in the market. Even some cultivators also, because spirulina is produced as a byproduct in fisheries sector. So, so even PUSA, or this IC, Indian Council of Agricultural Research, they have also a microbiology division. They are imparting training on this. So these are some of the government policies actually. And also FSSAI also, because we all know this Nutra Regulations 2022 has some gray areas. And industry is also facing, particularly for additives, actually we have some gray areas. And last month, the CEO FSSAI came to Mumbai and he had a full day meeting with the industry, and particularly 1 hour he earmarked for these Nutra industries, and he has assured that by December all these problems will be sorted out. So these are some of the government policies, and government is also very serious and sincere to make it $100 billion because it will add economy to the country.
Very well said, Pradip. Thank you very much for those insights. And now we have opportunity for the audience to please ask some questions. We can take a couple of questions at least as the time is permitting. So I would highly recommend the audience to please ask some questions because we have a great panel here quite capable of answering them.
Absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, before we go for the question sessions, can we have a big round of applause for this wonderful panel? And great contribution from all the panel members and wonderfully moderated by Vikram. Yes, I think we have one question there from Dr. Naveen. Please, sir.
It was good to hear, a balanced voice coming out of here. So one side, then pendulum was swinging on the other side. So it was a good competition, but very informative. Sort of knowledge for everyone. On behalf of audience, I thank you to the panel. Good luck, whatever you are driving, one side industry people, other side public health people, so good luck to everyone. My question comes to it's an open question. I hear there's a little bit ambiguity, but it's not clear between regulation, what industry is doing, or there are some new regulations that have come and gone into text, but when it comes to implementation and monitoring and surveillance, and I hear, if I correct me if I'm wrong, that there is no such, there are gaps, okay? So what sort of standard the companies are working to, when it comes to, okay, our product should be of that standard when it goes to market, or when you produce your product, is it that for domestic and different for export material? And when it comes to effectiveness of your product, what decides how you carry out those experiments and trials just to make sure that what you claim is actually producing that level of benefit to the consumer? And I also heard, conducting, there was a trial conducted by one of the panelists on diabetic patients, but how the degree of the severity of diabetes, does that also influence your trial? So there are a lot of, I know it's not very easy answer, but when you're saying it's quite, the landscape of it's quite larger. So I'm trying to, wrap my question. So there are a couple of questions into it, what I just said. So please be,
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's a very comprehensive question, and if I have to dissect it, I would say that the question is related to, compliance, product compliance, correct labeling, clinical trials, and also food safety. So I believe we have a plethora of panelists who can give some inputs on each one of them.
So I'll first add a few points and maybe other fellow colleagues can add to it. So for the regulation part, so we are all following the Nutra 2020 regulation, which has been operationalized. There are few amendments, notifications which are coming in, and we are all the time keeping a track on what new things are coming up. So the categorization as already taken up by Arun sir in the previous session, all regulations are as per those categories only: health supplements, nutraceutical, FSDU, FSMP, and we have to follow the regulation as per those categories. We need to see where, in which category we want to launch a product. Say for example, it is an obesity product, it will fall under FSDU. If it is a pregnancy product, it will fall under FSDU. And you have all the ingredients, the salt forms, everything specified. You have to follow those and you can formulate your product. Coming to the efficacy, we do the testing of our finished product. We put the product on stability trials. And when we say stability trials, it is both real-time as well as accelerated study data, which assures that whatever you are claiming on your product, the nutrient content, it is maintained till the end of shelf life. So this is being proven through your stability data, your test results. And the tests are conducted at a NABL accredited lab, which is being said by the FSSAI. They only take the data from an NABL accredited labs only. The clinical part, I will leave it to Dr. Nandan Joshi. And for the export, yes, when you are exporting a product to the different country, you have to follow the regulatory guidelines of that particular country. Your product can be made in India, but the labeling guidelines or the other requirements of that particular country, you have to follow the regulations as guided by that particular country. So this is from my side. And Dr.
Yeah, I think a couple of quick answers. One is regulation today far more advanced than what it was 10 years back. Great work by FSSAI, including importing the formulations for special children who are suffering from cow milk allergy and inborn errors of metabolism. Amazing things done in last 10 years by FSSAI. So I think we are all happy. Of course, it can be even better, but aspiration is always good. But I think great work. Second, like she said, we are also exporting or in the process of exporting the product. Quality is same for India as well as the export market, but regulation changes. For example, you might have a 500 milligram of curcumin in Indian product, but in many countries, curcumin is considered as additive and not as a nutrient. So you cannot add more than 40 milligram of curcumin in many countries. So your formulation goes for a complete change. So that's one example. Clinical trial, in this specific trial, it was HbA1c above 8, where the selection criteria. So HbA1c above 7 is considered as uncontrolled blood sugar level. So if you have, most of these patients were more than 8. And we also had, this trial was done on obese patient, overweight and obese, so BMI about 25. So those were the two selection criteria. Duration of diabetes was not considered, but patients who were on oral medication, not on insulin, because insulin has a very different role again. So this is just to, yeah, thank you.
To add on that, whenever we have been launching that, there will be, as rightly said by Nandan, there will be an in vivo and in vitro clinical trials will be taken, and specifically because when we have been launching, we are always, the industry needs a scientific data, and it has been approved by the ethical committees, all the things. And particularly on the diabetic cases, what it says very clearly, it is medications what we have been taken in is only a 30%, I rightly told it. There are other things which has to be taken care. That's why the severity of the diabetes is different from the stages to stages. Yeah. Thank you.
So thank you very much. In the interest of time, we may have to wind up this panel because we need to be considerate towards the next speakers also. But a highly efficient panel as we have here, stuck to the time. Thank you very much. Thank you for being a great audience.
Thank you, Vikram, for wonderfully wrapping up the session. But I would request all the honorable panel members to kindly be seated. And I would like to call on stage Mr. Arvind Kakru, Director Sales from Rockwell Automation India Private Limited. Arvind, if you could kindly do the honors of felicitating this wonderful panel here. Thank you so much, Arvind. Welcome to the stage. We will start first with Ms. Shweta Khandelwal. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Shweta, thank you so much for your wonderful contribution in the panel session.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Moving next to Dr. Nandan Arun Joshi. A big round of applause to Dr. Joshi, and thank you so much for your wonderful contribution in the panel. Moving next to Dr. Manickavasagam. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Dr. Manickavasagam, and thank you so much, Doctor, for your wonderful contribution in the panel. Moving next to Ms. Aparna Tandon. A big round of applause to Aparna, and thank you so much for your wonderful contribution in the panel session. Moving next to Mr. Anil Bhutani. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you so much, Anilji, for your wonderful contribution in the panel session. Moving next to Mr. Pradip Chakraborty. A big round of applause to Pradip ji, and thank you so much for your wonderful contribution in the panel session. Moving next to Ms. Swati Bhardwaj. A big round of applause for Swati, and thank you so much for your wonderful contribution in the panel. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our honorable moderator of the panel session, Mr. Vikram Kelkar, Managing Director from Hexagon Nutrition. A big round of applause to Vikram, and thank you so much, Vikram, for wonderfully moderating the session. And now I would request the honorable panel members to kindly step forward for a group photograph, and Arvind, if you could also join them. A big round of applause once again, ladies and gentlemen, for this wonderful panel on very interesting subject of lifestyle changes and nutraceuticals, effect of diet, exercise and functional food. And we had a wonderful session with these 8 experts here. Thank you so much to all the panel members for your valuable contribution in the panel.